Hello students, welcome to ekamiasacademy. As we have started the series on Indian economy answer writing series 2 to 3 days before, I thought of continuing this series. Actually, I am traveling, but though I am traveling and not available in the studio, I am trying to make a question recorded for the benefit of all of you. Okay, so let's start with a third question from a chapter 1, that is economic growth, development and underdevelopment. Okay, so we have covered 2 questions till now. This is the third question. The question reads, explain the concepts of cyclical and structural economic growth. Okay, now understand why this understanding the concept is important, because many times the economic growth, expansion or contraction maybe is as a result of a business cycle. What is a business cycle? A business cycle is nothing but, what we call a business cycle is nothing but a expansion and contraction in the economic activity in an economy is called a business cycle. So the idea here is to know whether the expansion and contraction is as a result of a business cycle or actually it is a result of the efforts that the government is making. Okay, so with this small background, we'll go to the introduction of our question that we are doing on the Indian economy. Explain the concepts of cyclical and structural economic growth. In introduction, what we'll write? We'll write in an economy, understanding the nature of economic activity, bracket we can write, be it expansion or contraction, is very important to know the cause and effect of an economic output. Right? So what we have written, we have tried to explain why the importance of measuring the economic activity and also what is causing that economic activity. Right? Now, second line we can write in this introduction, though it is a 150 word introduction, I am trying to write one more line here where I am trying to say is accurately knowing the reason and ability to calculate and direct policy interventions can have great impact on the output. So this is what we have given introduction. Right? Now, in the main body, the first part of the main body, because the question is very clearly asking us to explain the concepts. So in the first part, we'll explain I'll write here the first part, that is cyclical economic growth. What we will write here regarding the cyclical economic growth, we'll write it refers to, very, very important, it refers to short-term fluctuations. Very, very important, you need to understand. It refers to the short-term fluctuations in the economic activity, that are as a result of a business cycle. Just for your understanding, I'll rub it after that. Whenever we see a business activity, we generally see this graph. What is this graph? This part is known as the expansion stage of a business cycle. This is called peak, where this is called the peak. This is the place where a recession comes into play. and this is where depression happens. So this is basically what we are saying. It refers to the short-term fluctuations in the economic activity that are as a result of a business cycle. Now, whatever is the effect on the business economic activity, it depends in which stage of the business cycle your economic activity is. If your economic activity is in the expansionary stage, it will see expansion. If it is at the peak, you will see the highest possible growth metrics. If it is during the recession, you will see the fall in the economic activity. Okay. So as I told you, this is primarily for your explanation. I'm going to wrap this. You can also keep this in the, you can draw this diagram in your answer as well. I'm sure that will fetch you some good marks. Okay. Now, I have defined this. What is a cyclical economic growth, or what is cyclical economic growth, right? Now, we will see what are the characteristics of this particular cyclical economic activity. Now, we'll write here this business cycle is very, very important. Students understand, is characterized by a alternating growth and recession cycle. Then we'll write, during this period an economy would witness increased growth, comma, decrease in unemployment. Very, very important. Decrease in unemployment and positive consumer behavior. So this is the concept of cyclical economic growth. This is primarily during the expansionary phase. Then we'll write one line. Conversely, the opposite happens during a recessionary trend. This is what we have explained in the what you call cyclical economic growth or recession. Next is the structured economic growth or recession. What happens here? We'll try to know. We explained here the cyclical economic growth or recession. Now we are explaining the structured economic growth. It refers to a situation in the economy where we see growth trajectory in the economic activity which is not as a result of business cycle but as a result of structured policy interventions that positively affect the economic growth. ठीक है. These may include supporting fiscal policy, comma, monetary policy, comma, very, very important, supporting fiscal policy, monetary policy, technological interventions in production, comma, very, very important, upskilled labor in the market, etc., who all contribute in the growth path. This is what is your structured economic growth. Very, very important. This is not happening. Primarily what we are trying to say is that this is not happening as a result of business cycle, but it is a result of proper policy interventions. In the conclusion, we will write, very, very important, if an economy is willing to grow faster, then instead of relying on cyclical economic growth, the decision makers should create a conducive environment to achieve structured growth as it is long-term in nature, with benefits crossing across sectors and generations. Very, very important. Okay, so with this we have successfully written the third answer writing today. Okay, the idea is, see, while explaining you the concept, I have been able to complete the answer in around 11.5 to 12 minutes. If I have to only write without any explanation, I am sure 7 to 7.5 minutes I would be able to write the answer. Okay, so please stay connected. Do share these videos with your friends. Let them also join. I've got some requests from the students to give, the institute has primarily now redirected you to the website where the answers are given. I also suggest the students, if you go to the website, past year question papers also we have tried to write some answers. Also other GS papers also have written some answers which I have posted in the group. So you can all have a look there. Please go back, read, write. And I suggest some of you, because I'm getting requests to make it a live interactive session. Give me some time, maybe 10 to 15 days. I'll try to streamline my schedules accordingly so that we can connect with all of you live. If that happens, maybe around 6 p.m. I'll keep the time where we can connect with you or with all of you live. What my suggestion would be, when you're watching this video, do make comment if you want any additions or alterations that you want in the video. You also want to write along with me, you can type and you can submit it. If time permits, I'll surely correct them. And anybody seeking to have a personal interaction with me, join my mentorship program, you can also make a request on the comment box. We shall surely come back to you. Try to make it an interactive session. Use the comment box as much as possible. Drop any questions that you have, any queries that you have. You want to object to what I am writing, I am open to any sorts of criticism. Please understand that there is no perfect answer in UPSC. It is always called a model answer. So this is what, in the 7 minutes time frame, I could think of this answer. I have written this answer. We can add many more dimensions to this. Because we have a restriction of writing it in 7 minutes and also 150 words. You would see that I would not cross the limits of 150 words given to me. That is the idea of writing a timed answer. Okay. So thank you very much for joining me. We'll continue writing. It is very, very important that you should start writing your answers as early as possible. Thank you. Jai.